necessarily all of your options, but you're going to figure out a way to make do, right? Now, I'm just going to tell you this, and maybe the two of you ought to think about some of these things I'm about to say. Marissa,
Yes, Simpson.
you tell me you love your mother. Sometimes you have to meet them halfway. You have to have maybe a greater understanding of where they're coming from and whatever. Sometimes that can be, particularly for a young person, it can be grueling because you don't understand why they may be operating in the world that they're operating. But you just have to do it. And you have to go through time. And if you got to go talk to somebody to try to understand maybe what she's saying, that's what you got to do. Because guess what? In the end, you get one. That's all that you get. And young lady, while young people don't think that they think they got all the time in the world and can do all of those things, you get one, and if you blow it, there isn't another one to come along. Right? And from your side, your son's name is Lance. He gets one. That's it. Now, for you, and I don't mean to say this, I'm probably you're going to get in some trouble, but daughters are challenging. I will just tell you that. I've got one of each. Daughters are challenging. The boy was a lot easier for me. My daughter's 26. I still don't understand. I listen, but she's going to operate in her way. And when I tell her, you've got to meet your mom halfway or try to understand, you know what? You just have to be quiet. That's part of your damn problem. Excuse my language, but it's true. You have to just shut up. Because I bet you, you've interrupted me twice, and I can bet you when your mom's trying to explain something, and it may not come out as articulate as she may want it, she may not even fully understand the emotion that she's trying to explain to you. You probably don't shut up and listen. You ought to try that. It can be cathartic. If you love her like you have proclaimed here, you would do it. Ma'am, sometimes you just have to understand. That's a whole different generation than you probably grew up. Her whole thought process is just different. And you can see it just by what's happening in this courtroom. You have not once during this proceeding interrupted me at all in terms of what I'm saying. This one, it's been at least twice. You may not like it, but in some ways, that is what it is, at least at this. You have to accept the fact that if you offer for ways for her to engage and she doesn't want to engage, while it hurts, you just have to let it go and you don't try to force it. Because if she doesn't understand that she doesn't get another mother, that's not your problem, that's hers. You got me? And it sometimes I see it all the time. It can be one of the most painful things in the world because that person in front of you is at least half you, and you can't believe they're acting the way that they're acting. And it hurts. So what I might suggest, if your mother is offering that you go to counseling, whatever you think of that person, whatever, maybe you show the gesture to your mom and go. So here's what I'm going to do, ladies. I don't think this is going to be sorted out in any given period in time, but I'm going to give you at least a week to try to figure it out act like grown-ups, and maybe the two of you, and I'll say it this harshly, maybe the two of you should stop being so selfish and think about that little guy, Lance, and think about that he's got these two women there that he's got to figure out what they are, and neither one of you are acting in an appropriate fashion for him. So I'll see you guys in a week, oh joy, at 2:00. Start acting like adults, figure it out, come back and tell me something. Wait, what?
Lance has school and I have to pick him up.
2:00, figure it out. Next Friday, 2:00, figure it out. Have a great weekend. Seriously, you're gonna walk ahead of your mom? Thank you for opening that door, because otherwise I was gonna have somebody come up there and snatch you up. You just quit talking to me. Jeez, Pete. If my daughter did, that would not be a civil case.
Okay, we're live on YouTube. Used to say, Mr. Stevenson.
Good afternoon, Connor.
Okay, we are ready to go. Once
Stevenson.
Yeah, I have a question first.
Sure.
Are you working this weekend?
Do you want me to?
Yeah.
Sure. How about no? I'm not working this weekend.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I won't see you for the weekend. All right.
The Saturday and Sunday after Thanksgiving is the next weekend I work.
Okay. All right.
And I don't think Mrs. Stevenson is working that weekend.
No, not.
I want it early. All right, DDC's logging in. Let's see what we got here. Oh, okay, cool. Hi. Straight down the list. What's your name? Can you bring out Michael Garnieri, the co-defendant on this? As well? Yeah. Okay, Mr. Gordon, you have some traffic matters which you failed to appear in court for. As a result of your failure to appear, warrants for arrest were issued. The court's going to set aside the arrest warrants, Mr. Gordon, and give you a personal bond in each of these misdemeanor matters that carries a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you. You have the right to an attorney. You can't afford an attorney. One will be appointed for you. This first ticket, Mr. Gordon, is P1563142. Failed display of valid operator's license. Ticket P1612737. Disregarding officer signal. Ticket P1616330. No insurance misdemeanor. In each of these tickets, sir, you're getting a personal bond, no dollar amount. Pretrial, December 13th, in front of Judge Sean Perkins. Now to your main matter, gentlemen. Both of you gentlemen, state your names.
Michael Benson.
This is case number 240-459-4601, 4602. People say Michigan versus Daquan Gordon and Michael Gunieri. Appearances, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Samuel A. Ragland, P23-157, on behalf of the people. Thank you.
And for the record, Your Honor, Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Mr. Daquan Gordon and on behalf of Mr. Michael Guarnieri. Your Honor, they each have been advised of their rights. Ask the pleas of not guilty be entered on their behalf, Your Honor. Stand me waive the reading of the information.
Court will enter a not guilty plea on behalf of your clients. Mr. Ragnar, what is your recommendation on these two misdemeanor matters?
Well, Your Honor, they both have extensive records, Your Honor, but I'm going to be asking for $50,000 personal bond for each one. Thank you.
Where's the Zoom guy right adding to the complaint?
He's in the breakout room with Martin. Okay. Yeah, stay ready, you have to get ready. Okay, Mrs. Stevenson, you're awfully quiet.
No,
Are you all right?
I am. I just don't want to interrupt the court. No objection to that. Ask the court to adopt the people's bond recommendation, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Ragland.
All right, $50,000 personal bond for both of them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Pretrial, November 27th, in front of Judge Bryant. Have a good day, gentlemen. Step aside, please.
You go.
Yeah, straight down the list. What's your name, sir? What's your name?
Yeah, ready.
Mr. Reddy?
Ready.
Mr. Reddy?
Yes, ready.
Ready.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready. Oh, my bad. That's my last name. Yes, I'm ready.
Yes, I know you're ready, and so am I.
I'm ready.
Mr. Reddy, you have some traffic matters in which you failed to appear in court for. As a result of your failure to appear, a warrant for arrest were issued. The court's going to set aside this arrest warrant, give you a personal bond, and this misdemeanor matter carries a maximum penalty of up to 92 days in jail and or a $500 fine. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be against you. You have the right to an attorney. Can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed on your behalf. The tickets are P1347010, driver's license not required. Ticket X3942151, driver's license in person. Pretrial, December 16th, in front of Judge Melissa Sherman on both of these traffic matters. Now to your main matter. Are you ready?
Ready.
Calling case number 240-605-3801. People say Michigan was Zambian ready. Appearances, please. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead for the people.
Come on, Mr. Vincent. Get ready.
Oh.
Like that Elvis ready, set, go, man, go. Steve Vincent for the people, P7197.
Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Xavion Reddy. Stands me, waives the reading of the information. As to the plea of not guilty be entered on his behalf. Mr. Reddy has been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
All right, Corio, the not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Reddy. Mr. Vincent, put up.
I got magistrate. Just to be a little bit more serious, it is a serious matter. It's non-assaultive. I mean, I think the way that I read it, he was found to have a firearm, laser, light, loaded, extended magazine, chambered. But as I see it, it's non-assaultive. So we're not going to be challenging a cash. We'll be recommending personal here.
Okay.
Concur in the people's recommendation, Your Honor.
$10,000 personal bond, Mr. Reddy. Probable cause November 25th from the Judge Kevin Robbins, preliminary examination December 2nd from the Judge Taylor. While his case is pending, you're not possessing any handguns, firearms, or other dangerous weapons. Step aside, sir.
Can I get the court date in the bond amount again? I had to step up.
$10,000 personal bond, probable cause November 25th. Judge Kevin Robbins, preliminary examination December 2nd from the Judge Taylor.
Thank you, sir.
I thought Mr. Stevenson was going to do the TD Jakes on me.
Whoa, I must be sleepy. Good one. I wish I had.
I thought Mr. Stevenson was going to do the TD Jakes on me.
I'm gonna sleep at the wheel.
I know. I'm here to keep you woke.
Thank you.
I did my part. I included my end.
You
Man.
did. You did.
I
And we can go
failed.
on
I'm
and on
sorry.
and on.
I dropped
You're
it. I'm
slipping.
sorry. I
You're
did.
slipping. Okay. Is that another act of contrition?
That is an act of contrition. Yes, very good. Quick study.
We're going to be
I'm
here
on a
all
roll today.
afternoon. We're going to be here all
Okay.
afternoon.
What's your name,
We're
sir?
not.
What's your name?
Eric Johnson.
Eric Johnson.
Yes, sir.
Eric Johnson Jr.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Johnson, you have some traffic matters in which you failed to appear in court for.
Say it one more time.
I said you have some traffic matters which you failed to appear in court for. And as a result of your failure to appear, warrants for your arrest were issued.
He turned up.
That's it. I can hear it. I got you.
As a result of your failure to appear, step back. Can you hear
I
me?
can't hear you. It's like his computer is low.
Okay, hold on. All right. You have some traffic matters which you failed to appear in court for. As a result of your failure to appear, warrants for your arrest were issued. The court's going to set aside the arrest warrants, give a personal bond in each of these misdemeanor matters that carries a maximum penalty of 90 days in jail and or a $500 fine.
He was asking me
You
a
have the right
question.
to remain, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be against you, and the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed on your behalf. The ticket is P1542099. Driver's license never required. Pre-trial, December 13th in front of Judge Larry Williams. Now to your main matter. Calling case number 240-6053-901. Pearson Missy versus Eric Johnson. Appearances, please.
The Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
For the record, Your Honor, Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Eric Johnson. Mr. Johnson stands mute. We waive the reading of the information. We ask that a plea of not guilty enter on his behalf. Mr. Johnson has been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
Court order not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Johnson. Bond recommendation, Mrs. Coyle.
Your Honor, I see no criminal history. This is non-assaultive, no KPS history, 5,000 personal bond, no objection.
We would agree with the people's recommendation for personal bond. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Johnson, while his case is pending, you're not to possess any handguns, firearms, or other dangerous weapons. Probable cause November 25th in front of Judge Kevin Robbins. Preliminary examination December 2nd in front of Judge Giles. Step aside. Have a good day. $5,000 personal bond.
Come on.
Say your name.
My name is Antonio Patterson.
Who?
Antonio Patterson.
Antonio Patterson.
Yes, sir.
This is case number 240-605-4401. People said Michigan versus Antonio Patterson. Appearances, please.
Thank you, Magistrate. Steve Vincent for the people.
Janice Stevenson on behalf of Antonio. Mr. Patterson, are you able to hear us, sir?
Yeah, I have to move a little closer. I can hear.
Thank you. For the record, Your Honor, Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Antonio Patterson. He stands mute, waives the reading of the information, asks that a plea of not guilty enter on his behalf. Mr. Patterson has been advised of his rights.
Court will not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Patterson. Bond recommendation, Mr. Vincent.
Recommending personal here.
No objection to personal bond, Your Honor.
$5,000 personal bond, Mr. Patterson. While his case is pending, not to possess any handguns, firearms, or other dangerous weapons. Probable cause November 25th in front of Judge Kevin Robbins. Preliminary examination December 2nd in front of Judge Jefferson. Step aside. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Macomb County, how we doing? You're not listening to me. What's your name, sir?
Darius Mack, sir.
Repeat that.
Darius Mack.
This is case number 240-605-4301. You said Michigan versus Darius Mackin. Appearances, please.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
For the record, Your Honor, Janice Stevenson on behalf of Darius Mackin. He stands mute, waives the reading of the information, asks that a plea of not guilty be entered on his behalf. Mr. Mackin has been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
Court will not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Mackin. Bond recommendation, Mrs. Coyle.
Your Honor, people are going to recommend a $30,000 cash surety, a GPS, as well as an alcohol tether, and no contact with the complainant, either complainant in this matter, Ms. Madkin and Mr. Spratling. The defendant, he is, the complainant is 67 years old. As the court has read, he pulled a knife at the liquor store. It was a pocket knife. And then they came back and he began tearing up the home, in which woke up his grandmother. And I sent Mr. Reagan a copy of the grandmother's statement saying that he said, "Kill me. You were all going to call the police. I'm tired of living. I want to be killed." He then got a butcher knife from the kitchen. The grandmother got the knife away from him. In doing so, she cut herself. There was no medical that she received, but she threatened to kill. He threatened to kill the complainant in this matter. The grandmother threw him out of the house. She says that she allows him to live there because he has nowhere else to go. He came back kicking in the door and began destroying items within the home. So she then called the police. Apparently, per her statement, she says he's schizophrenic. He's on medications. He's been drinking. He also has a prior assaultive history, Your Honor, for armed robbery, carrying concealed weapon, felony firearm. He was just discharged from parole June 12th of this year, Your Honor. So people believe that he is a danger to the complainants in this matter. So I'm asking for that $30,000 cash surety, GPS, as well as an alcohol tether if he makes a bond, and of course, no contact with the complainants or their residents. Thank you.
You said 30,000 or 20,000?
30.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Stevenson.
No objection to the no contact condition, Your Honor, even though it looks like one of the witnesses here does not want to prosecute the case. No objection to the alcohol monitoring, Your Honor. No objection to a condition from the court requiring that Mr. Mack can take any prescribed medication to help him maintain his good mental health. Your Honor, we believe that with those conditions, maybe even a tether, Your Honor, to a treatment facility that would ensure safety to the community. I think that those are excellent alternatives to incarceration available to the court to make sure that the complaining witnesses and other members of the community, including Mr. Mackin, are safe, Your Honor. So we'd ask for a personal bond, no objection to tethering into a treatment facility, no objection to prohibition against the consumption of alcohol, no objection to a no contact, Your Honor. And I would ask I'm sorry, I would ask that this file be marked medical for the reasons stated by the people, Your Honor.
Has he been in a treatment facility before?
I don't know that, Your Honor. I do notice, you know, that Mr. Mackin is wearing one of the clothing items that is usually made available to people who are having mental health challenges over at the DDC.
Are you aware of that he's on any medication?
I am, Your Honor. We do have some psychiatric medicine that have been prescribed that Mr. Mackin has not been able to get access to during his time over at the DDC.
I also haven't had these meds in a while, and I've been needing to get a refill. I just haven't got one lately. It's been months since I've taken my meds, actually. But I was trying to get in the treatment facility.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Mackin. Thank you.
Does he work?
He's not working. Oh, go ahead, Mr. Mann. Do you have a job, Mr. Mackin?
Yeah, I just applied at the ambassador right there on Jefferson. I was waiting on my application to get cleared, but they basically already told me that it's a go. I just gotta make sure I'm there when they call me. I don't know.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. I realize that I look bad on paper, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Mackin, sir, there's a prosecutor on the screen with us, so we're going to ask you to protect your rights against self-incrimination. Don't say anything else right now, okay? Thank you, Mr. Mackin.
When's the last time he had a job?
I think he just recently got off parole. When did you last work, Mr. Mackin?
Just last working at Mastinardi Produce, probably about a couple weeks ago. I just left because I was going to be starting this new job. It's on Pennsylvania on Plymouth and Inkster. That's where I was just
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. For the reasons articulated by Mrs. Cole, I do find him a danger to the family members and at large the community. If this had been an isolated incident, I'd be inclined to go with your recommendation, Mr. Stevenson. But he's habitual fourth offense. And one of them is armed robbery. So albeit it's 2016, all the prior convictions, but it seems to be arguably a pattern here.
Aren't those all the same?
Help,
so
sir. I need help. Please.
Okay. Can I talk?
Sorry.
Hold on, Mr. Mackin. Judge, I'm just looking at all the it looks like that's all one offense that brought that half court up.
I agree with you. If you let me finish, I was about to state that.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Judge.
Are you contrite now?
Yes, Your Honor. I apologize.
But bottom line is it seems to be he has a prior armed robbery conviction, albeit is almost a decade ago, but he has an assaultive history. And now he's charged with felonious assault. And for the reasons articulated by Mrs. Coyle, I find him a danger to the community. And I'm going to adopt her recommendation. $30,000 cash surety. While this case is pending, no alcohol, marijuana, or illegal controlled substance. You're not to possess any handguns, firearms, other dangerous weapons. No contact with Wallace Strawling. If he's able to post bond, GPS tether to what type of facility you said, Mrs. Stevenson?
Your Honor, Mr. Mackin has said he needs some help, so.
To a rehab facility?
No, Your Honor, it doesn't look like drugs are the problem. It looks like it's a mental health issue that he's having.
Okay. Well,
I haven't had my prescription drugs in a while. I need those. And I've been taking other drugs on top of that, trying to self-medicate, sir. please just don't, I need help, man. This jail, like being here in the system, this kind of is where my mental illness come from, actually. Because I didn't have these issues before I went to prison. I wasn't on medication or anything. These are issues I've been dealing with being at home in the community. I'm actually trying to get help. I'm already inside of Detroit Wayne Integrated Health Services. Like, it's stuff I can go to for them. I'll go to rehab, anything, sir. Like, but please just give me a chance with this, because I was going through the right path. I just made a mistake, and I got drunk with Mr. Spratt. Me and him were drinking together the whole night, and we got a disagreement right before he went to the store.
Right there, that's good, Mr. Mackin, right there. Your Honor, would the court consider personal bond with the GPS tether without release unless he is tethered to some type of a mental health treatment facility? We are, because of what Mr. Mackin has just expressed, Your Honor, at this point, whatever mental health episode he may have been having at the time of this incident, it does look like it is going to be exacerbated if he kind of just sits over there at the Wayne County Jail.
So you want him tethered to a mental health facility?
Yes, please, Your Honor. We would ask for personal bond, tether only to be released upon tether to a mental health facility.
Your Honor, I'm going to object.
I'm not going to give him a personal bond.
The reason I object is not only that he's expressed, and he continues to speak about things that he's basically beyond his own control at this point. He also, when he was with his grandmother, I'm sorry, he not only threatened to kill Mr. Spratling, but he threatened to kill himself. And so when people that are in a mental spiral here, for whatever reasons, and I appreciate that fact, but here he's willing to take his own life as well as others. He didn't pull a knife once, he pulled a knife twice. And luckily for the grandmother, for the grace of God, she got the knife, she called the police. And I understand completely why a grandmother wouldn't want to prosecute. But this is not a thing about letting him out. This is a question we're talking about as to maybe sentencing or after. Right now we're discussing bond and safety to the community as well as the complaints. This just happened yesterday. In a mental health facility, he can walk away. And he's not going to be cured in one day at the mental health facility. So this is a question, and I even actually questioned myself whether that recommendation was too low based on what seems to occur. Here he is drinking, he has no place to live. So where is he going to go back if he walks out of the mental health facility, which he's able to do? He's going to go back to grandma's because he knows now grandma is sympathetic, which I understand, like I said. But we have a safety issue. And he is, like I said, he's already expressed a desire to kill himself as well as others. I think there's no clearer picture for somebody to be confined until further. He needs a competency evaluation as well as, treatment down the line. But this is not an issue here. He's going to go to mental health treatment, and this is a danger to the community issue.
I don't know that with regard to the competency evaluation, Mr. Mackin hasn't done anything to suggest to counsel that he's unable to assist us in his defense. We're not arguing that that he can't help us help him. We are arguing that he's ill and that he needs some treatment, and we don't believe he'll get that treatment during his time in custody at the Wayne County Jail. We believe that presents a safety issue to people there at the jail. We want him to go to the hospital so he can get some help. They can do a civil commitment, but he needs some help.
$30,000 cash surety.
Can I ask you a question, please?
No, you cannot. No alcohol, marijuana, illegal controlled substance. Not to possess any handguns, firearms, or other dangerous weapons. No contact with Wallace Sprawling. If you're able to post bond, GPS tethered to a mental health facility. Bond determination here, Monday, November 18th, 9 a.m. in front of Chief Judge McConicle. Probable cause, November 26th. Preliminary examination, December 3rd, in front of Judge Taylor. Step aside, sir.
You don't have any money for bond, sir. Y'all just gonna throw me away like that?
Step aside.
What do you think makes work?
Monday. All right, are we ready on Kobe Fletcher? Unmute, please. Mr. Stevenson,
Yes, Your Honor.
are you ready on Kobe Fletcher?
Ready on Kobe Fletcher.
Kobe Fletcher's Attorney General case. This is calendar case number 230-456-2101. Pearson, Michigan versus Kobe Fletcher. Appearances, please.
Kobe Fletcher.
For the record, Your Honor, Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Kobe Fletcher, who stands mute, waives the reading of the information after the plea of not guilty be entered on his behalf. Mr. Fletcher has been advised of his rights.
Court of not guilty plea. On behalf of Mr. Fletcher, bond recommend argument, Ms. Stevenson.
Your Honor, Mr. Fletcher posted $100 bond. I'm asking that matter be continued. I am excited to see Mr. Fletcher. I've been looking for him at his sentencing, and I see where he's been. He missed sentencing because he was over there at the Washtenaw County Jail. I have a PSI and everything that's recommending probation. So I'm asking for that the bond he posted be continued, Your Honor. He missed a sentencing date in front of Judge Bryan on June 14th, Your Honor, because he was incarcerated. Yes.
For this case?
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yes.
Okay. I'll give him a $1,000 personal bond. You don't have to go to any Detroit casino. Pre-trial November 27th in front of Judge Bryant.
Anybody else have
Have a good day, sir. When's your next court date, Mr. Fletcher?
I didn't hear you, sir.
When's your next court date?
I don't know. Could you tell me?
I'm going to text you right now, Mr. Fletcher.
November 27th, in front of Judge Bryant.
Thank you.
Mr. Fletcher, when's your next court date? What judge do you appear in front of next?
November 27th in front of Judge Bryan.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
What's your name, sir? DDC.
Brandon Harrion.
Who?
Brandon Harrion.
Brandon Harrion. It's case number 240-605-4601. Pearson, Michigan versus Brandon Harrion. Appearances, please.
Samuel A. Ragnar for the people, Your Honor.
For the record, Your Honor, Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Brandon Harrion. He stands mute, waives the reading of the information after the plea of not guilty be entered on his behalf. Mr. Harrion has been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
Court on not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Harrion. Bond recommendation, Mr. Ragnar.
Well, Mr. Harrion is on parole, Your Honor, and he's on parole till 11/26, 2038.
Hold on one more, Mr. Ragnar. Macomb County?
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Are you ready on Logan Mack?
Mr. Mack's a high security, so we need a minute to grab him, sir.
All right, take that minute. All right, go ahead, Mr. Ragnar.
So he's on parole for 14 years, started in 8/27/24 till 2038, and they did a welfare check or a check on him, the agents from the MDOC, and they found a number of ammunition, they found rifles, they found clips, they found just a lot of things. It almost looked like he was getting ready for a war or something. In fact, Your Honor, even the gun had a bayonet to it, which was kind of unusual. But we're just going to ask for a $50,000 personal bond, and I think the parole MDOC might take care of what needs to be done with it. Thank you.
No objection to the people's recommendation for personal bond, Your Honor.
$50,000 personal bond, no weapons, no ammunition, probable cause November 26th, preliminary examination December 3rd in front of Judge Dowd. Step aside, sir.
Thank you, Ken.
You're welcome. What's your name, sir?
Harold Lewis.
Repeat that.
Harold Lewis.
Harold Lewis.
Harold.
Harold Lewis, right? Give me one moment. All right, this is case number 240-459-5101. Pierce City, Michigan versus Harold Lewis. Appearances, please.
Thank you, Magistrate Stevenson, for the people.
For the record, Your Honor, Janice Stevenson, appearing on behalf of Harold Lewis. He stands mute, waives a reading of the information, as to the plea of not guilty in his behalf. Mr. Lewis has been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
Forward a not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Lewis. What is your bond recommendation, Mr. Vincent?
10,000, 10%. This is assaultive. 3 weeks ago, he just pled to a CCW and an R&O. He isn't even sentenced on that case yet. That's coming up next week, late next week or the following week. So with this assault, on top of the fact he's on bond, we find him to be a danger, a level of danger here. So respectfully asking for that cash.
Mr. Stevenson?
Your Honor, I'm going to ask for personal bond for Mr. Lewis, who's 18 years old, who arguably was engaged in some kind of a, defense of himself and defense of others, while mom's boyfriend is trying to kick everybody out of the house. I'm noting, Your Honor, it looks like at the time of the arrest, there was no combative behavior on Mr. Lewis's part. He's working on completing a GED at this time. He's going to have to go ahead and deal with whatever that matter is that the people have just referenced, Your Honor. But I don't have any case history for Mr. Lewis. When he comes into contact with the authorities, Your Honor, he doesn't give them any problems at all. So I'm asking the court to release Mr. Lewis on personal bond, no objection to no contact with the complaining witness.
Who lives at the Asbury Park address?
The complainant. It's his house.
They live together? Or roommates or what?
Well, I mean,
it looks like the whole family had been living there until Mr. Hubbard didn't want that to happen anymore, and he's throwing everybody's stuff out of the house.
And instead of just leaving, the defendant allegedly starts swinging.
Does Mr. Lewis have an alternative place to stay?
He does, Your Honor. We have an address from Mr. Lewis separate from that of the complaining witness.
Is he employed?
He is not employed, seeking employment at this time, Your Honor. He's working on finishing up a GED. He's 18 years old.
$10,000 personal bond, no contact with London Hubbard. Can I go back to the Asbury Park address? GPS tether. 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew. Pre-trial November 27th in front of Judge Jones. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Mr. Lewis. DDC?
Got it. Oh, no.
What's your name, sir?
Harlan McVeigh Jr.
Repeat that.
Harlan, Harlan McVeigh Jr.
Harley McVeigh.
All right, that's our Harley McVeigh.
All right. Case number 240-459-5201. Precinct Michigan versus Harley McVeigh. Appearances, please.
Thank you, Magistrate Stevenson, for the people.
Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Harlan McVeigh. He stands mute, waives the reading of the information. After the plea of not guilty in his behalf, Mr. McVeigh has been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
We're going to not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. McVeigh. Bond recommendation, Mr. Vincent.
Recent incident, Magistrate. Criminal history works against the defendant, previously convicted of second-degree homicide as well as felony firearm, albeit in 1999. Looked at the allegations, though. Nobody was injured in this matter. The defendant, I simply concur with the defendant's shirt. You know what? Got to use our brains more often, and you know what? It's good. Good on him. So with all of that, Judge, we're not going to object to a personal bond. Any other conditions? I think no contact through the pendency of this case, but we'll leave it up to you.
Mrs. Stevenson?
Your Honor, Mr. McVeigh's been on his job for 8 years. He does have children in the community that he's supporting.
Do you object to a personal bond?
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
I guess so.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I didn't hear that. I'm sorry. No objection to personal bond.
What does your client's t-shirt say?
I can't see that. Brains are awesome, and I agree with that. Hearts are awesome too. Manners are awesome. Yes.
$10,000 personal bond, no contact with Charles Vanderbilt McVeigh. Pre-trial November 27th in front of Judge Garrett. Step aside, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Woo, Mrs. Stevenson.
Yes, sir.
Nothing.
Johnny Williams.
Mr. Mack, you can knock on the door and have the deputy come get you. Yes, sir. Okay, what's your name, sir, DDC?
Johnny Williams.
Johnny Williams.
Yeah, no, what? Okay.
This is case number 0505971401, Peterson, Michigan versus Johnny Williams. Appearances, please.
Sorry, Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Mr. Johnny Williams. He stands mute, waives the reading of the information, asks that a plea of not guilty be entered on his behalf. Your Honor, Mr. Williams has been advised of his right.
This is an adjudicated case. Mr. Williams, did you turn yourself in today? Mr. Williams,
No,
did you
I
turn
didn't.
yourself?
I
You did not. Okay, this case comes from 2005. Bond recommendation, Mrs. Coyle.
Your Honor, this is adjudicated, and this is adjudicated to a misdemeanor back in, he pled guilty in 2005. So he was resentenced in 2006 and he got a year probation. No objection to a personal, Your Honor.
No objection to that recommendation, Your Honor.
$100 personal bond, sir. Just show up. November 27th, in front of Judge Garrett. No contact with Christina Bell. Just show up. Have a good day. I'm sorry? I did call this case. I forgot what bond I gave him.
Okay.
How you doing?
Sorry? I didn't catch that.
Jeremy
Mac
Barnes.
Logan. What's your name, sir?
Jeremy Barnes.
Jeremy Burns.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Burns, you had some traffic matters which you failed to appear in court for. As a result of your failure to appear, warrants for your arrest were issued. The court's going to set aside these arrest warrants, your personal bond in each of these misdemeanor matters that carries a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be against you. You have the right to an attorney. If you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed on your behalf. The tickets are P1097863, no insurance misdemeanor in proper place. Ticket 2274-54241, driving license suspended. And 242, driving registered motor vehicle. Ticket P1464979, driving license suspended. Disregard officer signal. Ticket P1466719, no insurance misdemeanor, driving license suspended. Ticket P1467410, display lawful order of police officer. Ticket P1549032, driving license suspended. Ticket P1556472, driving license suspended. Federal display operator's license. Ticket P1564249, driving license never required. Ticket P1578048, driving license suspended. Ticket P1576897, driving license suspended. Ticket P1575551, driving license suspended. This will be a lawful order of a police officer. In each of these misdemeanor matters, sir, you'll get a personal bond, no dollar amount, pre-trial December 13th in front of Judge Yancey. Now to your main matter. On the case number 240-605-4801, Precinct Michigan versus Jeremy Burns. Appearances, please.
Lisa Coyle, appearing on behalf of the people.
For the record, Your Honor, Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Jeremy Burns, who stands mute, waives the reading of the information, after the plea of not guilty enter on his behalf. Mr. Burns has been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
Not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Burns. Bond recommendation, Mrs. Coyle.
Your Honor, I'm asking for a 25,000 cash surety tether house arrest on this matter based on the fact that, as you read in the IR, they have a child in common. It's a prior dating relationship. The mother of the child was there, allegedly pointed a long gun with a drum magazine at her. They did a search warrant, located, though, a handgun. What's concerning is I note a record of a 2019 CCW, a 2021, 2 counts of R&O in the Third Circuit under HIDTA status, and most recently a 2022 unarmed robbery, 2 counts in the Sixth Circuit, also under HIDTA status, Your Honor. Based on this history and based on the fact, even if you take the felonious assault out of it, he should not have a weapon. I'm asking for that 25,000 tether house arrest. No contact, of course.
Mr. Stevenson?
Your Honor, Mr. Burns is working as a locksmith, Your Honor. He's actually a small business person doing that kind of work, and he has another couple of other side jobs, one of them being DoorDash. If it's the order of the court, he would have no contact with complaining witness, Your Honor. Mr. Burns would like to be able to continue to work, Your Honor. We would have no objection to a GPS tether. We think that that is an alternative to incarceration, which could ensure safety to the complaining witness. In particular, we'd ask the court to release Mr. Burns on personal bond. No objection to a GPS tether, Your Honor.
They don't live together, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
That's my understanding as well, Your Honor.
And this is regarding a drop off of a child, is that correct?
Right, a custody exchange.
Mrs. Stevenson, is this a court order custody exchange or is this agreement between the parties?
I think it's an agreement between the parties, Your Honor. So they have been able to peacefully co-parent up to this.
How old is the child?
Mr. Burns,
You want to say something?
please just answer how old the child is at this time, Mr. Burns. How old is your child? Thank you.
He said, how many jobs does he have?
2, Your Honor.
There's been no problem with the parenting issues allegedly up until now. Is that correct, Mr. Stevenson?
I don't know of anything between them up to this, Your Honor, at all.
Okay, I will incline to agree with you, Mr. Stevenson. I'm gonna leave $100,000 personal bond, a GPS tether for tracking purposes. No contact with Destiny Lloyd. He's not to possess any handguns, firearms, or other dangerous weapons. This was a close call. I get Mrs. Cole's point. What was particularly troubling, and it's the what was ambiguous and not clear from the report. It looks like the child had been taken away by the grandmother outside, away from the vehicle, and the weapons were pointed to the complaining witness inside the car, and out of view or out of view of the child. And that's what I was trying to get to. At least it's unclear whether at least the child was not in the vehicle allegedly when the weapon was pulled. And that was kind of the turning point in making my decision in terms of whether a weapon was pulled in front of the child while the child was in the car or not. It doesn't appear from my reading of the report that the child was in the car, had been taken away by the grandmother, and the weapon was allegedly pointed to the complaining witness and told to get out of the vehicle. So that was the turning point for me. And $100,000 personal bond, GPS tether, no contact with Destiny Floyd, no weapons, probable cause November 26th in front of Judge Sabree, preliminary examination December 3rd in front of Judge Sabree. Step aside, Mr. Burns.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Can I ask you a question? What occurred with Mr. Mack? Is he coming back or he's done?
He's done. I think I set the bond for him, didn't I not? I did not?
No, we didn't do, that's my case. We didn't do that.
Oh, I stand corrected.
He's the guy in Macomb County.
Right. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
I've got too much going on here. I thought we had done him.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. My mistake.
Okay, I just wanted to know.
Yeah.
I don't have it. You never gave it to me.
London Mac?
Oh, the file is up there.
It's up there. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. My first mistake of the day. All right. I sincerely thought that's what happens when you got too much going on at once.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Madam Clerk, can you call back Macomb County, have them log back in, please? Here's the file.
Okay.
Okay. My apologies, everybody. Too much going on. Sir, what's your name? What's your name, sir? Repeat that.
Narada Walters.
All right. Mr. Walters, this is case number 240-6055001. Houston, Michigan versus Narada Walters. Appearances, please.
Thank you, Magistrate. Good afternoon, Stevenson, for the people.
Janice Stevenson, on behalf of Narada Walters, he stands mute, waives the reading of the information, asks that a plea of not guilty be entered on his behalf. Mr. Walters has been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
Court, I'm not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Walters. Bond recommendation, Mr. Vincent?
Magistrate, it's really apparent here the defendant allegedly struck out on this one. Police found drugs in a baseball bat, in his baseball bat. So.
Okay, but
non-assaultive. He is a HAB 3, so he could be facing 40 years, but we'll let the courts deal with that. So we're not going to be objecting to a personal.
Okay.
No object. Have support to adopt the people's recommendation.
All right. Give me one moment, please. I figured what happened with I was looking to put him in a breakout room. That's what it was. And he had not spoken to an attorney yet. That's what it was. All right.
And now my joke just fell flat. That's fine.
No, you struck out.
That's true. I feel that way.
It's a good joke, Mr.
No, don't go back to it. That's fine.
All right.
Carry on. Carry on.
Oh, great job, everybody. Great job, everybody.
I'm not getting any answer.
Okay, give me one moment, please.
Go.
Okay, Mr. Walters, $10,000 personal bond. No drugs. Probable cause November 26th, preliminary examination, December 3rd from the Judge Taylor. Mrs. Coyle, I'm trying to reach, calling back Macomb County. I'm not getting an answer.
He's in custody anyway, so, I mean, he's not going anywhere, but.
Okay. Like I said, my apologies on that one.
No worries. I just saw him leave. He was standing there ready to go.
Yeah, no, I thought I was done with him, but what I was waiting to do was put him in a breakout room with an attorney. And that's me juggling too many things at once. And that's my responsibility. But I just let you know I'm trying to reach Macomb County and they are not answering as of yet. So bear with me. Okay, sir, what's your name?
Next.
What's your name? Okay, this is case number 240-605-4901. Houston, Michigan versus Dimitri Nixon. Appearances, please.
Lisa Coyle appearing on behalf of the people.
For the record, Your Honor, Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Dimitri Nixon, who stands mute, waives the reading of the information as to the plea of not guilty be entered on his behalf. Mr. Nixon has been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
For the not guilty plea on behalf of Mr. Nixon, bond recommendation, Mrs. Coyle.
Your Honor, no capious history, no criminal history that I'm aware of, drugs and a gun, no objection to a $20,000 personal bond.
Okay, $20,000 personal bond, Mr. Nixon, while this case is pending. You not to possess any handguns, firearms, other dangerous weapons, no drugs. Probable cause November 26th, preliminary examination December 3rd in front of Judge Jefferson. Step aside, please. What's your name, sir?
Mark Smith, sir.
What?
Mark Smith.
What's your name?
Mark Smith.
Mark Smith.
AKA, so still in court.
Thank you. Calling case number 220-564-3701. Houston, Michigan versus Mark Smith, aka Dostelius Brooks. I note for the record, I have a $10,000 cash surety with GPS tether, KPS bond set April 14, 2022. Appearances, please.
This is Mr. Ragnon's case, but it appears as though it's.
Janice Stevenson on behalf of Justilius Brooks stands mute, waives a reading after the plea of not guilty be entered on his behalf. Mr. Brooks has been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
Okay, I'm going to continue the cash bond, KPS bond set by the judge. 10,000 cash surety with GPS tether. I assume this is unaffordable bond.
Correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Probable cause Monday. No, strike that. Bond redetermination Monday, November 18th, 9 a.m. in front of Chief Judge McConical. Probable cause November 27th, preliminary examination December 3rd, both in front of Judge Giles. Step aside, sir. What's your name, sir?
Larry Hayes.
This is case number 0905513501. Houston, Michigan versus Larry Hayes. Mr. Hayes, before you proceed, did you turn yourself in?
Yes, I did.
You did? You turned yourself in today?
Yes.
Okay, appearances, please.
Steve Vincent for the people.
Janice Stevenson on behalf of Larry Hayes stands mute, waives the reading of the information after the plea of not guilty entered on his behalf. Mr. Hayes has been advised of his rights, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to continue not guilty plea. Mr. Hayes, you capiased at a pretrial June 20th, 2013 in front of Judge Ronald Giles. Now, he set a $10,000 cash surety bond. Mrs. Stevenson, why should I not continue that bond?
Because of the fact that I am not certain that the crime with which Mr. Hayes was charged back in 2009 is still a crime. Mr. Hayes turned himself in, which indicates he's absolutely no risk of flight. So I'm asking for personal bond.
I have to ask Mr. Hayes, what possessed you to turn yourself in today?
So I had a warrant until I tried to get a job working for the city. They the ones found this warrant up in my name and told me what I had to do to get it.
Why do you wait to turn yourself in until Monday? I'm just curious. Why Friday?
Because I just found out from 36th District yesterday to come here to turn myself in. I'm trying to turn myself in for the last 2 weeks. I went to 36th District. They sent me to William Dickerson. William Dickerson sent me back to 36th District. And then 36th District gave me a number to a judge. I called the judge all last week. and left voicemail, never heard nothing back. So I called 36th District again, compare myself into them, get up there, and they tell me to come here. Wow, so that's how I ended up here.
Word of caution, never turn yourself in on a Friday. You may spend the weekend in jail. Okay, word of wisdom. Only because I have the utmost respect for Mr. Stevenson is I'm not going to continue the cash capious bond set by Judge Giles. $1,000 personal bond, pre-trial November 27th in front of Judge Bryant. Have a good weekend.
That's right.
And thank Mr. Stevenson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Mr. Hayes.
I feel compelled to do this just so we can show that the city was represented. Steve Vincent for the people, P71917. I don't have any issue with you converting that to a personal, just for the record.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Get you on the female side.
All right.
That's 2 strikeouts. I've struck out twice.
No, you haven't. No, you haven't. I would consider that one a foul. You fouled it off.
I think you're okay.
Yeah, you fouled it off. That wasn't a strike. A true strike. I'm really proud of Mr. Stevenson and Mr. Ragnon.
Well, I don't know what it's for, but thank you.
Yes. What's your name, ma'am? Rebecca West. Rebecca West. Speak up, please. All right, this is case number 220-564-9301. Houston, Michigan versus Rebecca West. Appearances, please.
Yeah, Samuel A. Ragland, the city attorney here, people will not be appearing on this matter since they felon.
Sorry, because of what?
Because there's a felony capious.
Okay, all right. You faded out.
Record, Your Honor. Janice Stevenson appearing on behalf of Ms. Rebecca West, who stands mute, waives the reading of the information. As to the plea of not guilty be entered on her behalf, Ms. West has been advised of her rights, Your Honor.
Okay, court of not guilty plea on behalf of Ms. West. Judge Aaliyah Sabri said a $1,000 cash surety bond failed to appear at a Zoom hearing on August of 2023. The court's going to continue the bond set by Judge Sabri. Is that an affordable bond?
It is not, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. I'll take you downstairs and check and stuff, okay?
$1,000 cash surety bond. No drugs while this case is pending, ma'am. Probable cause November 26th, preliminary examination December 3rd, bond redetermination here Monday. Monday, November 18th, 9 a.m. in front of Chief Judge McConicle. Step aside, ma'am. Step aside, Ms. West.
Yeah, I gotta move her, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Madam Clerk. Yes. Okay, what's your name, ma'am?
Jada Darby.
Darby. This case number 240-605-4001. Peace and Michigan versus Jada Darby. Appearances, please.
Samuel A. Ragnar for the people, Your Honor.
For the record, Your Honor, Janice Stevens, hearing on behalf of Jada Darby, stands me, waives the reading of the information after the plea of not guilty being entered on her behalf. Ms. Darby has been advised of her rights, Your Honor.
Court not guilty plea on behalf of Ms. Darby. Bond recommendation, Mr. Ragnar.
Well, Your Honor, people are asking for $2,000, 10% cash bond. If the post bond, we're asking for a Tedwick home arrest, curfew if she is employed. Very assaultive matter, Your Honor. The defendant went over to her mother's. Her mother is opening up a new business. She went over to the business and also.
Hold on. I'll note for the record that her mother, Tasha Harris, is in the Zoom courtroom. She's muted.
Okay.
Okay. Just note that for the record. Go on, Mr. Ragnar.
Well, thank you, Your Honor. But the defendant came in very irate. This had to do something that happened about a year ago with regard to money that the mother gave to her daughter for her to get a residence for her and her child to live in. But allegedly, the defendant took off, went to Miami, and got a surgical procedure instead. But she started assaulting the mother, hit her in the face multiple times. They were fighting inside. The mother's ex-husband, who was in business with her, tried to break up the fight. They went outside finally, fighting. The gentleman involved other got in there. At the time he was breaking it up, the defendant grabbed the gun that was in the holster of the man that was helping break up the fight. With that, she took the gun, and according to the mother, pulled the trigger a number of saying, "I want to kill you, I hate you." Pulled the trigger a number of times, and it just clicked. And then the gentleman got the gun back, and he said, "Yeah, the reason it didn't go off is because I had the safety on." But extremely assaultive, and really disturbing to do this to anybody, but especially to your mother. And I think a cash bond is warranted, but tether home arrest.
Mr. Stevenson?
So I don't know with the stuff that happened a year ago, which is included in the investigator's report. That's a little bit strange to me. I don't know if that's where this all started. It looks like this is a pretty difficult relationship between Ms. Darby and the complaining witness. And I think that everybody can remain safe if the court orders that Ms. Darby have no contact with the complaining witness. Ms. Darby has given us an address completely separate from that of the complaining witness, so she doesn't have to have contact. It looks like the whatever items, that Ms. Darby allegedly tried to get possession of her own stuff. Maybe we could have some kind of arrangements for that to be taken care of. And then these two ladies, unfortunately, just move on to the next phase of their lives, which may be separate from each other. Whatever is going on here started long before a year ago. I don't know that I've ever seen in an investigator's report information like that included right there in the investigator's report for this kind of case. So it wasn't Ms. Darby's own weapon, and that's comforting. There's no indication that she had a weapon. It's very sad. I hope that they'll just be able to move forward, but I think that everybody can stay safe. The public safety can be assured by the court prohibiting Ms. Darby from having any contact with the complaining witness. I guess, maybe even a GPS tether. That way Ms. Darby will be able to show that she's staying away from her mom while this is going on. So I'd ask for personal bond and not more than a GPS tether.
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Harris, hold on, Ms. Harris, can you unmute, please?
I'm here, Your Honor.
State your name for the record, Ms. Harris.
Tasha Harris.
Are you the mother of Jada Darby?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What type of bond would you like the court to set, ma'am?
Your Honor, with all of this going on, Jada has still been on the phone making threats towards myself and my ex-husband, considering all of this still.
Ma'am,
So I
understand all that. The attorneys have made arguments one way or another. I want to know what bond do you want me to set?
I don't know how to answer that, Your Honor, because I just still don't feel like she's safe. I don't feel like I'm safe. I feel like if she get out, she will be successful.
Let me ask you a series of questions. If she's out on personal bond and able to walk around, do you feel safe?
No, sir.
Do you feel safer if she's locked up?
Yes, sir.
Why would you feel safer?
I feel safer because I don't know that she won't try it again, because she has been still making threats since this incident, Your Honor, even being locked up.
Okay, ma'am, I get it. I'm just trying to expedite this matter. If I gave her a GPS tether and to be able to track her, would you feel safe?
A GPS teller just lets you know where she is. It doesn't keep her from actually coming to where I am.
No, the court order would be no contact with you nor your residence. And the GPS tether will be able to track her to see if she's in violation of that. Would you feel safe with that?
I don't, Your Honor. I don't. Honestly, I don't.
Okay. All right, Mr. Ragnar, what's the bond recommendation you sought?
$10,000, 10%, able to post bond, tether with home arrest. Okay.
$10,000, 10%, GPS tether, house arrest if she's able to post bond. In no small part based on the recommendation by the comments by the complaining witness, Ms. Tasha Harris. Bond redetermination here Monday, November 18th from the Chief Judge McConico. Probable cause November 26th. Clear examination December 3rd in front of Judge Jefferson. No contact with Tasha Harris. Step aside, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your
I'm
Honor.
sorry, I didn't really quite hear what you said.
10,000, 10%. Bond redetermination here Monday. GPS tether, house arrest, probable cause November 26th. Clear examination December 3rd, both in front of Judge Jefferson. Step aside, please.
Can I oppose the GPS tether, Your Honor? I'm a working single mother, and all these accusations are false and can be proven false. This $500 that she said she's giving to me, I can prove that my surgery was paid for long before she gave me any money. I can also prove that I did not buy her. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now is not the time to address your concerns. You'll have a bond redetermination here on Monday. And as far as the truthfulness of the allegations, they'll be fleshed out at a later court date. Have a good day, ma'am. Have a good day, Ms. Harris.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You as well, Your Honor.
Sorry.
Good luck, Ms. Harris.
Have a good day, Ms. Harris.
Thank you.
All right, what's your name, ma'am?
Victoria Goss.
All right, it's case number 240-459-5301. People say Michigan versus Victoria Goss. Appearances, please.
Samuel A. Ragnan for the people, Your Honor.
Janice Stevenson on behalf of Victoria Goss. She stands mute, waives the reading of the information, asks that a plea of not guilty be entered on her behalf, as Goss has been advised of her rights.
Court of not guilty on behalf of Ms. Goss. Bond recommendation, Mr. Ragnar.
Well, the people are asking for $25,000 personal bond, Your Honor. Also asking for a tether with house arrest as she's employed. We would not object to a curfew. The defendant allegedly got an argument with the complaining witness. He went ahead, she hit him. He has a minor laceration on his right cheek. He had a bloody mouth. He had minor bruises and left forearm and a small scratch on his right forearm. He declined medical attention. But the point is, Your Honor, is that the defendant assaults him and then takes off in his car. Subsequently, she was arrested in the car. He tried to say that he had struck her in the mouth, but she did not show any injuries at the time. We're asking for personal bond with tether house arrest.
Gotcha. Mr. Stephen, just address the issue of tether.
Your
And
Honor.
Before you answer that question, does she have an alternative place to stay?
Yes, Your Honor, we have an which is separate from that of the complaining witness. She doesn't want to have any contact with him, Your Honor. Sounds like it's not safe for her as well.
Address the issue of bond. She will get a
Regard-
$25,000 a tether. She will get a $25,000 personal bond. Address the propriety of a tether, please.
With regard to the tether, Your Honor, Ms. Goss is working at this time. She's already been in jail now, I want to say 2 days at least, Your Honor, which is putting her employment at risk. So and that was my reason for making the point that she doesn't want to have any contact with the complaining witness, and for that reason would stay away from him for her own personal safety. I don't think a tether is necessary. I think the prohibition against contact with the complaining witness is sufficient. She wants to stay safe. She wants to hold on to her job. So I ask the court not to impose tether at this time, Your Honor.
Mr. Ragnon, are you aware of the prior domestic
I
violence contacts between parties?
I believe she is on probation to HIDA. 1024, she had a retail fraud second that was dismissed under probation.
Okay, I'm asking for, does she have any assaultive allegations, particularly with this complaining witness?
Not that I know. Disturbing the peace. I'm not going to go into arrest because she told me before not to do that. So I'll say no, that not that I know.
You listen to me. You listen to me. That's why I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I learned. Took about 6 months, but I finally got it.
All right, better late than never.
Your Honor.
$25,000 personal bond, no GPS tether, no contact with Danielle Escobar. You cannot go back to the Evergreen address. Pre-trial November 27th in front of Judge Garrett. Have a good day, ma'am.
Thank you. You as well.
Okay, Mrs. Coyle, with respect to Logan Mack, we're gonna have to reschedule him for another day. I am doing felony arraignments Monday morning. I'm gonna try to get it done, scheduled Monday morning when I'm doing felony arraignments.
I have it too, so I'll be here too. Perfect.
Okay. Otherwise, everybody have a good weekend. Again, my apologies for the misunderstanding with Logan Mack. It only shows I'm human.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
Have a nice weekend.
Have a good weekend.
All right.
Vincent, Lisa.